Today we're going to cover the latest update for TrueConf Room software room endpoint. It's basically a software for rooms which speaks our protocol. And my name is Lev, L-E-V. I'm the marketing guy at TrueConf. And today Maria will help me to deliver you the presentation about the recent updates of this software product. We will share two types of contents. You will see my slide deck. You will also see the main screen of our room endpoint, which is TrueConf Room, essentially. Just a moment, I will enable the screen sharing for you. So now you can see the room endpoint. Here it is. This is our hands. So we will switch between control panel for this room endpoint and the main window, which is dedicated for display of conference participants. And in addition to that, we will also show you the slide deck. So let's start with the slide deck. You should see the slide deck a little bit larger than the content and then our video, but that's okay. So let's start with this update. So it's nice to see you people today here with us. Thank you for your time.
Do not hesitate to ask your questions in chat. We will be happy to answer them.
Yes, we're always happy for any types of comments and questions. Let me remind you what are the TrueConf Room. TrueConf Room is not a new product. We released the first version of this solution more than 10 years ago. It was released under a different name. It was, by that time, it was dubbed as TrueConf Terminal. But right now, its name is Room. It is a pure software solution which natively speak our own proprietary TrueConf protocol, and it has to be authenticated and registered on TrueConf server or TrueConf enterprise. So it is not possible to use this software standalone as is. It has to be registered on our server. It has to be authenticated on our server using TrueConf server account or TrueConf enterprise account, and only after that it will be possible to use it. This solution is quite similar to solutions like Teams room system or Zoom rooms and some other solutions. And it basically utilizes the regular PC in your room, and instead of keyboard and mouse, it can be controlled by other means. We'll cover those controls methods a little bit later. But the idea, it is just an application which can be used with any peripherals you might have in your room. So no need to buy something specific. We don't have any recommendations for the peripherals because we fully support all kinds of USB peripherals you might have. Very similar to desktop applications. So you are free to use any screen, any camera, video bar, PTZ camera, web camera, any microphones, speakerphones, whatever you would like to use, you can freely connect to the computer where this software will be installed. The deployment scheme roughly looks like that. So we need a computer. It could be a laptop, old computer, Intel Mac computer, whatever you have in your room. And you have to connect some microphones and cameras and capture card to convert it, to make it an endpoint for video conference. We also offer different types of control methods. As for now, we have three different options. The first one, it is called the second monitor. Let me show you. This is actually, because we have two screens, two monitors connected to our system at the moment. So the second screen, which you see right now, let me enlarge it a little bit. So this is the control panel. It is displayed on the second monitor of the computer. If that monitor is a touch screen, there are many touch-enabled monitors available. They could be large or small. It's up to you to select one, and we need to press by our hands, tap some buttons to interact with the terminal to control it. The second option is a very special application, which is called TrueConf Discovery. TrueConf Discovery is an Android application. We do not offer Discovery application for iOS, only for Android, because this application is usually installed on tablet. And there are many tablets available on the market, which are PoE enabled. That means it is a standalone Android tablet, which is installed stationary, so you don't carry it around. It's installed for permanent use on the table in your conference room. It is usually connected using PoE single cable, and it doesn't have any battery inside. It doesn't have lock screen, so it's basically all the time displays the control panel for your room appliance. So that's the second option of the room control. And the third option is basically a browser, so you can access. Let me show you. So you can see on the main screen of the solution, we have a link for the control panel, and we have a QR code with the same link encoded into it, which leads to the control panel. And we can open this link in using your smartphone or browser from your laptop, whatever you'd like to use. And we will fully optimize the experience, control panel experience for smartphones with a vertical orientation or larger screens of your laptop or iPad, whatever you have actually. So we don't actually care how you will control the solution. It fully supports those three different methods, which cover 100% all available options available in the market for room management. There is actually a fourth available way how to control the solution, which utilize API. So we have API. So basically all you see today can be controlled by means of API calls over WebSocket connection. We have a SDK for that available in our documentation area for developers on our website. So basically, you can replace the control panel we offer as Android application or second monitor or browser with your own control panel application, which will have absolutely the same set of features, but you will be able to call them independently according to your needs, according to your UI and your idea how to control this solution. And for display of the conference, this solution can be equipped with one or multiple screens. It depends on how many screens the video card, the built-in video card GPU is support on your computer. Usually computers, they have built-in video card, integrated video, which supports up to 3 to 4 screens. And some professional video cards, they can offer up to 6 or 8 screens support. So we don't care how much. So if your graphics subsystem of your CPU or GPU allows you to connect to the computer multiple screens, we can utilize all of them for the conference. And we offer control management panel, control panel, layout management control panel, so you can move with your finger people from one screen to another screen to better represent the conference. But today we have only one screen for the purposes of this demonstration. So that's the room solution. You can download it from our website. It is free to use. It's a very small application. We offer 3 different kinds of this product. We have a Windows version for Intel and AMD CPUs. We have Ubuntu version for the same x86 CPUs. We also offer a special build for ARM-based machines for Raspberry Pi, for example, or NVIDIA Jetson. So you can use this room appliance on very small, very affordable, cheap computers, which are now capable of full HD encoding. So we can use, let's say, Orange Pi or Raspberry Pi latest generation for full HD video experience. And we don't need to invest into the more expensive PC for that. So we can use this piece of software on ARM-based machine. The only thing we need is a camera, which either way connects to the computer over USB. And the best thing about this product is that if we install it on a Windows machine, we can fully apply the approach bring your own conference. That means you can run different conferencing applications on the same computer. It could be TrueConf Room for one meeting. You can close or run in parallel, let's say Zoom application or Teams application to connect to another meeting in 1 hour. So you can use the same session, the same computer, for different purposes, and you do not need to reboot it. You do not need to use different set of hardware for different conferencing systems. So you fully utilize and reuse the equipment you have, which connects to this computer. Okay, so that was the brief description of TrueConf Rooms to give you an idea how it looks like. So let's move forward and cover finally the updates we have. On some markets, we offer complete kits to equip rooms. They are not available globally, only on some markets, so you can contact our managers to receive a kit. But again, the idea is that this piece of software is totally agnostic to the equipment you have. So we don't even have recommendations. So you can use whatever equipment you want to use, any cameras, any microphones, because system already have pretty nice algorithms inside for, let's say, echo canceling. So you are free to use speakers on your TV with a microphone on your webcam, and it will be fine. It will not produce any echo, any audio feedback for your listeners, because we have built-in echo canceling and many other things inside.
It's great. So also I'd like to mention that we have the free version of TrueConf Room and we have the extended one. Would you please comment us on the limitation that the free version has?
Thank you for the good question. Yes, the free version is available for everybody, and you don't need to pay to use it. It doesn't have any quality restrictions or whatever. However, if you would like to obtain the full set of features of TrueConf Room solution, you need to buy a license, which is not very expensive. It's, as I remember, it's like 500 USD per license. And the full version adds some additional features. It will be easier for me to show them for you. For example, full version has user mode and administrator mode. That means we can lock some settings inside the application, which are not able which user will not be able to change, because they will be exclusively available only for administrators. This way we protect some crucial settings of the application. Let's say the registration settings, to which server to connect to, peripheral settings, so user will not be able to change the microphone, for example, or change the how displays are used, which display is used for conferencing, which display is used for a control panel. So we can glue and lock some settings in the user mode to protect this configuration and to significantly save nerves of the IT professionals who help to monitor and to use the room equipment in the conferencing rooms. We also added support for NDI protocol for the full version. So if you are using NDI cameras, or you'd like to output talking heads for the conference as NDI stream, let's say to vMix or OBS software, it also requires the Pro function, Pro license. And I think that's almost all the changes. So not big difference between the free version and the full version. You have to understand the free version don't have any time limitations, quality limitations, content sharing limitations, nothing. The only limitation is the NDI and user mode. There are something else but I don't remember at the moment. Some minor things probably. Okay.
They were free above TrueConf Room.
Oh yeah, that's important. So let me show you. I will stop to share my slide deck so you can see this user mode and administrator mode. So if we click on this icon, we can switch, but because we're running the free version at the moment, we will not be able to demonstrate the difference. However, if I start the meeting and I go to the main window, hello, this is us, you can see the badge on the right top corner of the application. There is a badge in the free version that the free version of our application is in use. That's the difference. So let me stop this meeting. Okay, let's proceed with the slides. Maria, Please.
So we have released the new version of our TrueConf Room software. And the first feature we'd like to tell you about is AI-based noise suppression. As you all know, we have a very, very good noise suppression in our desktop client application. And by analogy with our desktop client apps, we added this feature into TrueConf Room 4.3 version. And with this opportunity, you can improve the quality of your sound. You just need to go to the settings, audio section, and click on noise suppression. And the system will work, actually. This feature allows to deliver crystal clear sound of the speaking person without any sound distortions.
Actually, I think we have this algorithm in place. So in PyClap, you probably will never hear this because it is considered as noise.
But I hear this.
You hear, but our listeners are not. I also like to point out that we recommend to do the calibration of echo canceling algorithm if you move microphones around your room. So it's better to not to glue, but to use 3M double-sided scotch, for example, to place to specific locations your microphone ports in the conferencing room. And after you change the configuration of the speakers and microphones, don't forget to do the calibration. We have a dedicated estimate button for this, which measures the audio feedback and customize a little bit the algorithms to help you totally eliminate the echo, because it really helps to build, let's say, budget conferencing rooms. If you don't want to use expensive speakerphones, if you don't want to use expensive echo canceling mixers, you can use any webcam or, let's say, any microphone port, which are very affordable. You can use even omnidirectional, let's say, studio microphone, for example, in your room, and the speakers from TV or some additional speakers. And because we can measure the echo, we can adjust the echo algorithm. You can use this, and you can be sure that your parties, remote parties, will never hear the feedback. Okay, so let's proceed with the next feature of this new update, which is a standby mode. This mode helps you to save not just the power, but it actually save the equipment. Let's say screens don't burn overnight or over long weekends without usage. And for that, we added, let me show you a special button here on the top right corner of the control panel. I'd like to remind you that this control panel is available as a browser application, as an Android application, and as a Windows application if you open it on the second screen. So we go to sleep automatically after some period of inactivity, let's say 15 minutes of inactivity, the endpoint will go to sleep. That means three things. First, we disable all the equipment. So we stop to work with the camera, we stop to work with the video, camera, content source, microphone, speakers. We try to move the camera around. If we have a PTZ camera connected, we try to move it a little bit to not to capture the conference room. We also display the very nice image of the standby image. And after some period of inactivity, we shut down the screen. That's important to save the pixels on the LED screen. And you need to do some activity to wake up the endpoint. It could be a touch for an Android application. It could be the touch on the second monitor. It could be any command delivered over a WebSocket connection or any click or tap inside the browser application for the control panel. And the second thing which is done when you use the sleep mode is that we set for the user who is authenticated on the room software, we change his status to away. That means that other colleagues and participants will see that actually nobody inside the room, so the room is vacant because this room user is not available, not just not available, it's available, but it is displayed as away with a away status. That's it. Let's have a look. So this is how it looks like. So we display some images, and on all the screens, we display the snapshot. It could be different images. You can set up them. And after some period of inactivity, it shut down the equipment. And if I move my mouse, I'm immediately wake up the endpoint. And I'd like to point out that if you have multiple screens connected to your computer, this standby image will be displayed on all screens. So all system screens will go to sleep. Yes, Vicky, you can upload your own images. Just get in touch with our technical support team and we will tell you where to place those images. Of course, it is possible to change them. Okay.
That we can brand the image.
Maria?
Yeah, we prepared some slides for standby mode, and let's discuss when it is enabled. So the standby mode or sleep mode is enabled automatically when your OS goes to sleeping mode by itself. Also, we can set the time after which this sleeping mode will be enabled. It is possible to set up in our TrueConf service add-on. So let's show it, how it works. We have the manager, and it is possible to enable the mode after some time, and you can set up the time after which the standby mode will be enabled. It is in the other section, this setting.
Please pay attention to this small piece of software which comes along with TrueConf Room solution. It is called Service Manager. Let me show you. It is installed with TrueConf Room all the time. So when you install TrueConf, you receive a room service and room application. And you can access room service from the tray menu. And the role of this application is crucial. It is very important. So this room service monitor the activity of our application and automatically restart the application if for some reason some user will shut down the application. If we go here and close our room application, let's close room application, it will be automatically restarted by a room service. So now the application is automatically restarted, and it is very difficult for a user to broke the setup you have in your room because it will be restored by this room service automatically. Let's wait a little bit for the system to restart. Here we are. So the system was restarted successfully. I go back to this room service. The second the second reason why we created this application, which actually service inside the operating system. It's not application, it is a service. So it's very difficult to shut it down. You can close room service application, but it will continue to run inside your system as a system service. So the second goal of this application is to specifically apply the configuration of the screens. For example, we'd like to use the monitor number 2 for the conference monitor, and we can use this monitor number, let's say 1 and 2 for room control application. And we can apply some additional settings for that. We can create the pin code to change. I mentioned already that I have an administrator mode and user mode, so you can assign pin code for administrator mode here. We can also execute some additional scripts. For example, we need to change the set of equipment when the room application has started. Let's say we send a command to video metrics that we need to change the layout on the screen. We need to change the inputs on the cameras, whatever. It could be called by some script you can wrote using batch files, whatever you would like to use. And such scripts can be applied when the room application is starting and after it was terminated. And we can also use some extra parameters with which our application is starting, because we can define specific coordinates and the screen size of the video window, because by default, we took all available space on the monitor you select here for the display of the conference, but it could be different. Let me show you how we can use that. For example, I'd like to use the web manager, the left panel. I'd like this control panel to be open in administrator mode, not user mode. And I'd like to start it automatically. And once I press OK, the room application will be restarted. And instead of the full screen control panel, we will display the native Windows application for the control panel on the left side of your screen. So, for example, let's wait a little bit. So we can use, for example, here we are. So now we use the same monitor for the control panel and the same monitor for the main monitor for the conference. And for example, we can enter specific parameters to render the main screen to the right of the control panel. And you can see that control panel is not possible to move it around, not possible to hide it, because it always displays the control panel. It's not possible to hide it. It's not a browser. It's basically a part of our application rendered on the left part of your screen. And this way, for example, we can open the conferencing application on the right, control panel on the left, and we can use this setup on the large interactive board. So for example, if you have a large interactive board, you can use this, or it can be used on the kiosks. It can be used on the Android application as well. For example, on the touch screen of your control tablet in your room, you can always have the TrueConf Room control panel on the left, and on the right side, on the same time, you can open your calendar or mail application or some content sources. And that's very, very nice that a user are not capable to close it. So it will always be visible, very difficult to destroy this setup. And all the same features. So we have a fully optimized experience for vertical orientation. So it's the same as a full screen control panel, all the same features, very well optimized. So let me stop this conference and go back to the default mode. Just a moment. I need to open the service room manager once again and change a little bit the settings for the full screen. Just a moment. We applied the settings and the room service is restarting at the moment. Meanwhile, do you have any questions? Feel free to ask them in the chat. Okay, here we are. The next, thank you, Kilian. That's good. Maria, please.
Yes, the next feature is a support for smart meeting. We have smart meeting mode in our desktop client application for Windows, Linux, and macOS. And right now we have also this type of the conference in a TrueConf Room. You can schedule a meeting in this mode. Let's show how it works. And during the meeting, you can also manage the layout, pin participants on the podium. So all the features that are available in our desktop client application are here in TrueConf Room 4.3.
So we can select the conference size. We can select the smart meeting mode, which is the default mode in all other TrueConf applications, which automatically form the layout based on the activity of the user, on his microphone activity, availability of the camera, depending if there is a content being delivered to the conference. So there are many signals we analyze, upon which we create the automatic layout for all participants of the conference. So this mode is finally available for room solutions. And please pay attention here that we also added support for the waiting room. So for example, if I create a conference, let's say like all screen conference, and I'd like to add many users, let's say 6, 7 of them to the conference. Once I start the conference, let's me check. Here is a conference, so we can move people. Let me show you one more time. Just a moment. I forget about this checkbox. Just a moment. So once we start the conference, we can see that nobody is here because all participants are in a waiting room, and we are seeing the invitations, so we can invite someone or disconnect someone. So let's accept some people and disconnect others. And because we are in the smart meeting mode, we need to pin those people to the layout, otherwise they will not be visible. And now we added those people to the conference, and this is how it looks like. So we can use this waiting room to move people around. Let's move back some people back to the waiting room, and they are removed from the layout. So that's the new feature. The management of waiting room wasn't available in the previous release. Okay, so let's start this conference. And oh, actually, you just saw the invitation for this meeting, which started at 1:30 p.m. here, Moscow time, and it's already started, but nobody is there, so I can join this meeting immediately. Just me and Maria are there. But you see that the control panel is actually can be used to receive invitations for calls, to access your personal calendar, to access meetings you were invited to, because TrueConf server, where this application is registered at, has built-in calendar. And we also have different badges like missed calls and missed invitations. So it looks like a big application, but optimized for the touch controls. Okay, let's ignore the fact that we have an ongoing conference and continue with our slide deck. Okay. Waiting rooms. We just covered it.
Told you about that.
Maria?
Yeah, right now we have also added the vertical orientation for video windows of conference participants, and it changes dynamically depending on the number of conference participants who have vertical video orientation. And the larger the number of meeting participants that have the vertical orientation on their for example, they are connecting using their smartphones, the layout changes automatically, and you will have vertical orientation in your conference.
That means that the endpoint, the TrueConf Room software, is fully support vertical orientated cameras. That means so we can rotate 4K camera by 90 degrees, and we can deliver this 4K, not let's say what is 4K resolution, something by something. We can deliver this in different vertical orientation, pixel by pixel, in a full 4K Ultra HD video quality to the remote parties. And we can use this to create kiosks. We can use this to create portals. So because TrueConf Room fully support vertical video, we can deliver 4K 60 frames per second portal point-to-point call, let's say from one endpoint to another endpoint. And some of our technical partners already building solutions like that. You've probably seen solutions like HoloBox or HoloLive. They built upon TrueConf Room solution, and they've utilized our vertical video support in 4K quality. And of course, we can display in the layout vertical videos, let's say from mobile participants, automatically. Recording indicator, just a minor improvement. Like in the desktop application, you can be sure that your conference is not being recorded, for example, or it is recorded. For example, right now we are conducting a webinar, and I'd like to check that the webinar is recorded. So I can see the status in my application. And in the conference room, it could be different. In conference rooms, we usually, they usually want to be sure that their conversation is not recorded. So you can use the status on the control panel to be sure that it is not recorded. TrueConf Room do not support local recording. It only supports server-side recording. So this indicator just shows us that the conference is recorded or not recorded on the server, not locally. Okay. We already showed you the room service application. We updated its UI. It's now nice and clean and much easier to work with. previous version was a little bit ugly, let's say Windows XP kind of design, so now it's better. And I'd like to remind that because TrueConf Room is a cross-platform application, this service, room service application, is also available for Linux. It is also available for other platforms. So in Windows, we use services. In Linux, we use system control services. So we make sure that whatever setup you have, we will do all the possible things to preserve it. If, let's say, someone will disconnect the monitor, if someone will eventually, not intentionally, shut down the computer or disable the electricity, it happens time to time. If usually customers, they have 10, 20 conference rooms, and they are not able to send IT professional to every room and every location to check the setup of the configuration. So this service actually automatically restore the configuration you have. So you don't need to worry that something can go wrong. You can just restart the application, or you can enable a room service, and it will automatically manage everything. If you miss something, you just reconnect the equipment, and the room service will automatically select screens and equipment for the previous configuration, and no need to do anything for the user. You just need to plug in the disconnected equipment, and it will restore automatically. Because without such service, if you disconnect the second monitor, for example, you have 3 monitors or 2 monitors, 2 screens. It could happen that your control panel could be opened on the big screen, not on a small screen, or it move around. But with this room service, we automatically stick specific parts of the UI to the specific screens forever. They're glued, fixed, nailed to there. And all you have to do is just to reconnect the equipment or power on the equipment, and we will automatically start everything, and it will be ready for incoming calls and conferences. Some other improvements of the room service is connected with the virtual keyboard. You can see the checkbox on the bottom of the slide. On some systems, especially on the second monitor configurations, and you've probably seen such equipment, let's say Lenovo Think Hub or Think Center, they have computers like Intel NUC with built-in screens above them. There are some other solutions from other companies, let's say HP also doing the same thing. So there are many, not many, but there are some equipment sets which were designed for conferencing rooms from Lenovo. There are many certified Microsoft Teams room systems with built-in screens. So we can fully utilize such equipment where the control panel is actually rendered as application on the second monitor, touch monitor, built into the PC. So no need to use any tablets, no need to use the smartphone to control the solution. So we can use built-in touch screen. And sometimes you are not able to enter the login or password or some settings inside the touch panel, because operating system were designed this way or administrator disabled it. There is no keyboard, virtual keyboard, on just a known keyboard. So we can force to display a system keyboard, which is displayed in a float window, so we can move it around on the control panel to make sure that it is always available. You can close it, reopen it. That's a very, very required feature for such computers. For example, if you'd like to repurpose your Teams room system to use it in the Bring Your Own Conference paradigm and install, for example, TrueConf Room and some other solutions, so that could be useful. Okay, Maria.
Yeah, now we would like to comment on TrueConf Room Discovery. We updated our Android application, as Lev has said. You can manage TrueConf Room using our Android application. Now we have updated UI. It became more user-friendly. Also, it is possible to plan, delete, and edit the list of video conferencing endpoints in our application for Android.
I will show you. So every distro, any distributive of TrueConf Room application comes along with Android application, APK file, which you can download in the About section. of the control panel. And this application can be installed on any tablet, but we recommend to install it on specific room tablets, which is PoE based. There are many of them available on from many different resellers. It could be Crystron, it could be AliExpress, 100 USD tablets. Actually, AliExpress versions are better than Crystron and more affordable, and we recommend to use them. So you just need to run this application on the control panel, and after that, the application will stick to specific room endpoint you have in your network. But this discovery application is actually have more features. First of all, it automatically detect all TrueConf endpoints in your network. It could be TrueConf Room software endpoints, it could be TrueConf Group hardware appliances. So we automatically show you the list of all available room solutions from TrueConf in this application, and you can switch the control panel. So you can access the control panel of room solution or group solution. You can go back and reaccess other endpoint, or you can pin this control panel to display the this application to display the control panel for specific endpoint if you install this application on the room tablet. But if you use it from your smartphone, if you're IT professional, you can manage different room endpoints directly from your smartphone using this application as well. So this is very nice application which helps you to manage TrueConf Room appliances without the need of keyboard, mouse, browser, whatever. Okay, Maria.
Yeah, so now we can disable the capture of your self view. If you turn off your camera, you can tick in the settings the special button, and the system will not show your self view when your camera is turned off.
By default, let me show you this in high quality. So by default, this checkbox is installed, but if you disable it, we will do soft disable of the camera. That means if you disable the camera, it is continued to capture by operating system, but it is not, the video is not sent to the conference. So if you'd like to be sure that when you disable the camera will be shut down, you have to enable this checkbox. And that means that when you disable the camera and install this checkbox inside the main screen, your camera will not be displayed, because by default we display the source of the camera when the endpoint is not sleeping. But if you enable this checkbox and your camera is disabled, nothing will be displayed here. You can see that this endpoint has camera disabled. It will never be sent to the conference, but it's captured for your, let's say, conference. So you can access, you can check your hairstyle, for example. But if you enable this checkbox, the camera will be disabled permanently, and the black screen will actually gray screen will be displayed. By the way, let's have a look on some other features we have here. For example, we also added another AI feature. It is called face tracking. So let me start the conference and show you this. So you can see that if you enable face tracking in the settings of room solution, the application will automatically try to create two groups of people from the camera source. Let's say it could be people from the left side of the table in the conference room and people from the right side of the table in the conference room. And algorithmically, we remove the empty space without any participants from the camera view to make faces larger, to allow other remote parties to see people in the conferencing rooms with more details. For that, we need a 4K camera. Right now, we're using affordable 4K camera, Rockware camera, which is quite affordable. And it is possible to crop 720p or Full HD from 4K camera, and you will never see the difference in the quality. So if I move around, the algorithm will follow me, and we can use it with any cameras. And the beauty of this algorithm is that it focuses on a group of people. If there are more people it will focus on all people in the room. So if I move closer to Maria, the algorithm will try to zoom a little bit on both of us. But if we separate a little bit, it will try to enlarge our separate faces. But it could be more people in the room. It will work accordingly to the number of people in the room. And currently, we offer only 2 panes, 2 videos, let's say, what would be the right term? So we can create 2 views from a single camera, because even with 4K cameras, it is useless to create more views, because 4K resolution is not enough to create, let's say, 3 or 4 views, because quality is not so good from 4K when we crop. And maybe one day there will be 8K cameras, so we can create 4 panes or 6 panes, 6 views. But right now we only do 2 views, but it is adjustable. And we'd like to remind you that in our room software, it is very easy to achieve very high 4K quality. Let's have a look. I will disable this. Just a moment. I will disable face tracking. Here is, and I will create a new conference. I will add some participants. Let's say it's 4 people. Let's drop someone. We need only 4. This guy. So I'm capturing the content from 1080p Full HD monitor. So it's difficult to see the whole quality here. But usually in our conferencing rooms, we have 4K Ultra HD screens, because all TVs produced, all LED screens, professional screens produced nowadays, they always come in 4K resolution. And in your conferencing rooms, you usually have screens 55, 65, 70, 75, 85 inches, which are pretty large, and they fully support 4K. But the equipment you use for them, let's say Zoom rooms, Teams rooms, legacy Cisco Polycom equipment, they usually produce shitty quality, which rarely above 720p. And you are not able to fully utilize the beauty of the equipment you have in your room, the large screen you have. But with TrueConf solution, with TrueConf Room, because we work in the private network, we are not sending data and bandwidth through some cloud services. We don't need to pay for the bandwidth, so we can deliver you the amazing quality. It could be easily 4K, and it is the only thing we need to achieve 4K is 4 people in the layout, because for every participant in the layout, we can deliver 1080p 30 frames per second audio video quality. So when we have 4 people with 1080p resolution in total, that makes 4K quality. This is crazy high quality, and the larger screen you have, the more impressive it is. And no settings has to be done, it happens automatically. And this is the beauty of the software solutions like ours, because we're not limited to legacy protocols, we're not limited to the bandwidth settings, we're not limited to the encoding settings. So we can for sure capture and deliver the best possible quality in the current network configuration, the current network connection we have. That's very high quality. This is amazingly good.
Looking nice.
Yeah. But unfortunately, in this webinar, you have 1080p resolution. It's not possible for you to see all the details. Okay. Oh, did a mistake. Let's stop this conference here. Let's go back to the slide deck. We also improved the contact list. It is also a huge benefit of TrueConf Room solution, because you can use it as a communicator, as the, let's say, video calling application. So you don't need to create a virtual room. You don't need to send the link to the virtual room to your Cisco endpoint with one touch to tap connectivity methods, blah, blah, blah. This is crazy difficult. In TrueConf Room application, you only need to start to type in the control panel, the name or ID or whatever the alias of your party, your colleague, and you just tap on his name, immediately you are connected. And no need to create virtual rooms, whatever, and no friction at all, no need to book a meeting in the calendar. And you can see the statuses of your colleague, who is available, who is not available, on vacations, or out away from the keyboard, whatever. and you can decide to call or not. Basically, how we use this room solution in our office, we have many different, what is the name for the small meeting room? Huddle room. So we have, in this office location, we have 6 huddle rooms. So what I need to do when I would like to speak with someone in private, go to the huddle room and just start to type, let's say, the name of my colleague, Maria, for example, and just press a call and we're connected and we can speak without the headset in a private and huddle room. No need to create any meetings, whatever. This is a very nice because we are connected to the TrueConf service system and we can do direct calls. This is very, very efficient. And we recommend you to use our system this way because it helps people to avoid this friction with calendars and directly connect and create ad hoc meetings on the go. This is crazy as efficient. Maria?
Yeah. Now we supported new image formats, and now you can share slides in PDF and PPTX, and we supported new formats of images. They are on the slide, as you can see. So right now we support almost all types of images and slides that are on the market.
Let me show you. So I will stop the slide deck. Let's go to the control panel. So I create a meeting and I go to the slideshow settings. By the way, if you have a capture card, we can switch to the capture card at that moment. But if you'd like to show your presentation, it is useless to show presentations from the computer where TrueConf Room is installed in case of the second monitor control panel. But if you are using your smartphone or the tablet as a control panel, you can load the content, images or documents from your smartphone, for example. And we need to add some slides. I have some PowerPoint file here. So let me import the PowerPoint file. So the PowerPoint file was imported and I just need to press play and I can switch slides. And if I go to the presentation, to the conference window, you can see that we have slides here. This is basically the slide deck we're using for this webinar. So I can move around. It was imported from PDF. This is a conference window. This is a control panel window. We can stop the session and, for example, we can clear everything and we can add the PDF files as well. This is also a new feature. So let me import PDF file. It takes some time to process. And once again, let's go. So we can create some slides from PDF as well, and they will be available for the conference participants. So the only downside of this approach with the slide decks is that if you'd like to import a PowerPoint file, you need to install PowerPoint application on the computer where TrueConf Room application is installed. It is very important, not the computer where control panel is displayed, not the tablet, not your smartphone, but on the room side, you need to install PowerPoint application because without the libraries from Microsoft, we are not able to render PowerPoint files into images. And we need to create images from PowerPoint file to send them to the conference to create a slide deck. That's important. So if you don't want to install PowerPoint application on the room computer, you can use PDF, which is fully supported. Okay, we have a question, which is, yes, Vicky, I understood your questions. It is a good questions. So the question is about noise suppression cuts off all the different noises, but it doesn't cut off the background voices. For example, if you're working from the open space, there is always some background voice. And what is more dangerous, there could be some people in your open space who are participating in the same conference, which can create the audio feedback, the loop, the echo. So we do not have at the moment the algorithm which can remove background voices. I will tell you why, because if you'd like to do this background voice elimination in the right way, we need 2 microphones in the same room. So we need to measure the distance to understand which voices to cut off. It is possible to done on the speakerphones, but very difficult from the headset. And it can be applied on the server side, and we are currently thinking how we can do this on the server side. It can be done, but it is not so easy as it described. It is a quite difficult approach. Some vendors, they offer such features like audio fans. As I remember, Yamaha has this feature. Poly also have this feature on their speakerphones. It's possible to create a kind of sphere which only sends voices from the nearby people, not from remote, let's say, people located a little bit further from the microphones. But it's still not work really well, believe me. Even from Poly or Yamaha, it has some issues. So the only right way to eliminate the background voices is to process the audio on the server, which will create additional load on the CPU on the server. Can be done, but not in our solution, at the moment. But we are thinking how to fix it. It is a very common problem. Okay. In the next version, we're going to add support for ODP files. ODP file is a default presentation file from LibreOffice and some open source Office packages. We already added support for ODP file for desktop application, but for room application, not available at the moment. Okay, let's. We have a question. So, in one-to-one calls, we can reach 4K quality, bandwidth, compression, blah 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 blah. Okay, the question is it possible to achieve 4K quality in one-to-one calls? Yes, it is possible, but you have to check that you have 4K camera, that the receiving party, the other party is have 4K screen to display the video from your 4K camera, and you also have to check that on the receiving party, your video is displayed full screen. So if your video is displayed in a small window, our application will send you a smaller video, but you need to make larger the video which you would like to see in 4K quality, and everything else, all the magic will happen automatically. So because we don't have any settings for compression ratio, we don't have any settings for resolution. We do have settings for bandwidth, and we do recommend to have at least 10 megabits per second, 8 megabits per second for 4K quality. But everything else is not possible to adjust. We manage all those parameters automatically, and we treat differently the video from the camera and the content from your screen. It is quite complicated. It's quite complicated process, but yes, 4K is possible. Okay, we will cover this without the demonstration. So we added support for Visca protocol. Visca protocol is used to control PTZ cameras over COM port connection. It's old legacy COM port connection. It looks like PS2 usually on the nowadays PTZ cameras. PS2, for those who is young enough, were used to connect, let's say, keyboard and mouse 15 years ago. And the same connector can be used to control over separate cable your camera. And Visca protocol is much quicker and much more responsive than the USB, because when we use USB way to control cameras, which is called UVC protocol, it is always sluggish. UVC is definitely not the best way how to control PTZ cameras, but with Visca, you can do it smoothly, lightly, very quickly, without the feedback, without any delay. Let me show you how it looks like. So if I go to the meeting, we have a PTZ camera control here. So I can use these controls to control my camera. So for example, let me show you. So I will zoom a little bit. You see that we zoom a little bit, and we can create a preset for this, and it will be saved. So we can use it any moment and reuse this preset from our camera. There could be multiple cameras, so we can create presets from different cameras. But the idea is that when we use Visca protocol, this process is much more smoother, more pleasure to use it because the protocol is much quicker with no delay compared to USB cameras. Okay. Maria?
Yeah, we have already told you that in TrueConf Room, you can see all user statuses of your colleagues, and So when you, for example, adding some participants into your running conference, you can see who is available, who is aware of his or her keyboard, and so on. So it is a very user-friendly and easy to connect with your colleagues anytime.
So you can actually be sure that your colleague is connected using your smartphone and the mobile application is not sleeping. In this case, you see the smartphone icon. If the mobile application of your colleague is sleeping, that means we can only reach mobile application using push notifications through Apple, Huawei, or Google infrastructure through the cloud connections. We display the empty circle. And if the user is authenticated on the room endpoint, like room application, like TrueConf Room, we display the room like a small TV icon. So you, from the address book, you will be able to see where every user is authenticated from. And of course, it is possible for users to authenticate from multiple devices simultaneously. For example, I'm running two TrueConf applications for Windows at the moment, which are authenticated on using the same account, but both are connected to the same meeting. That's why you see two speakers, like TrueConf webinar speaker number 1 and TrueConf webinar speaker number 2. That means that I use the same account to authenticate from two different applications, which are connected to the same conference, and we never limit this. You can, let's say, create 10 copies of yourself and connect them to the same meeting or different meetings. Okay. Another improvement is that we created a special source for the content. So we are not limited to the capture card. Before, we recommended to use a capture card to capture content source, but usually people also would like to use a web camera, let's say, or document camera, or camera which is directed to the whiteboard or the flip chart, and we can use this camera as a content source as well. That's why we added ability. Let me show you in the settings. So if we go to the video settings, so we can select the source of the content. It could be virtual camera from OBS. It could be NDI source. For example, you output some content from your vMix studio. And once you select the source for the content here, inside the conference, you can switch to HDMI. We will change the name. It basically means switch to the content source. So we can switch to that source and you can display the flip chart or OBS virtual camera with some additionally prepared content any moment inside the conference, outside the conference, because outside the conference we have this button called switch to HDMI, so which also switch to the content source you have selected. So now you can use cameras, NDI sources, virtual cameras, and capture cards as the content source, and you can switch any moment between your camera and the content source to create better experience for your conferences. So no need to use the capture card. It could be some other. It could be, let's say, wireless capture content buttons, let's say from Barco ClickShare, some other vendors. It could be AirPlay from Apple TV. So you decide what should be the source of your content, and what we supported all types of content using this update. You only need to switch the moment you are ready. Okay. And the last slide is about how this solution is developed. And we'd like to remind you that TrueConf Room software is basically based on the core library, which is called Video SDK. It's not a library, it's a basically application binary file. So TrueConf Room is based on Video SDK. We also have TrueConf Kiosk, ready-to-use application, which is also based on Video SDK. And you can create your own application based on the Video SDK. The only difference between those three types of applications, TrueConf Room, TrueConf Kiosk, and customized customer application, is that they use their own UI. Because for everything you see here, let's say this is a control panel. So every button here, every click, every notification, every status, every action here has a corresponding API call. So you can create your own interface. For example, in Kiosk, we have much simpler interface, but for Room, we have the advanced interface. But you can select which features you need, which features are essential for you or not, and you can create your own UI using HTML technologies, using WebSocket API calls. You basically subscribe for TrueConf Video SDK application, which usually displayed in a full size on some monitor, and you send commands to this full-sized video application to create a conference, manage layouts, receive messages, send files, send chat messages, whatever. Everything you can do from this control panel can be done using your own interface. And this is very cool because we do not limit access to the API. You can check our developers website, developers.trueconf.com, and you can create your own kiosk, your own room solutions, tailor it and customized for your existing, let's say, Crystron or AMX room control system, whatever you have. So you can control TrueConf Room right from your control panel, or you can create your own specific kiosk. So everything in terms of conference size, conference quality, participant management is the same. The only interface, how you control this, is different. And we call this Video SDK. It is available as a standalone application. It is also available as Windows Forms C# library, so you can use it in cross-platform environments. You can use it for Windows application or Linux applications, and you just need to create the UI for it. Okay, that's it. We are reminding you that we have the communities with our technical support team, our managers, our product team. Maria is also there.
With us.
Me, myself is also there. So we have two types of communities. Telegram, in some countries, Telegram is very popular. It is by orders of many magnitudes is better than WhatsApp, but still many people in many countries use the WhatsApp, which is a terrible application. I don't know how people still use this prep, but okay, we fully understand that, and we have a WhatsApp community as well, and you can choose which communities to join, but they really can help you to learn our solutions, to troubleshoot issues you might have in a very efficient way. We always monitor them and try to help very quickly. That's it. Thank you for your time. Let me stop the content from the room solution. So that was our webinar about TrueConf Room 4.3 update. I hope you enjoyed it, and we are going to release the new version of our server next month, the TrueConf Server 5.4 with many updates. And please stay tuned and follow up our news, and we will send you the invitation for the next webinar next month. So thank you for your time and have a nice day.
Thank you. Feel free to join us in our other social networks, in LinkedIn and Facebook. We try to stay active as much as possible, so join us. And thank you for your time.
Thanks, guys. Have a nice evening.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.